Alright, we're gonna change up the save bet method so that if our game player bets more than the amount of money they have, then we the website will redirect them back to that same bet page and tell them that they don't have enough money to bet the amount of money that they inputted. So that is obviously gonna have to be done inside the defined save bet method because this is the defined bet action is the get action that displays it. And if you remember from that get page, you input how much money you want to bet, and then you click submit, and that submit button submits it to the defined save bet action. So if we put a binding.pry in here, this is where you can access all the params. So let's cd into we run Rails console. And we test out, actually no, I went in the wrong place. Exit. Look at that. Let's run the server. Rails server. We check out localhost. Austin. How much money do I have? Say 20. Submit. 50. Submit. So I submitted. And because I put a binding.pry right here, it should freeze. So binding.pry. And now if you look at what are the params we get are bet is 50, which is all we need. And we can check how much cache we have by calling the method the session cache to return 20. So then all we have to do is compare session cache to session bet or params bet, and if bet is less than or equal to the amount of cache we have, then that is allowed and the user can then move on. But if it's over the amount of cache they have, then we return them back to the get page where they bet, and we tell them you don't have enough money to do that. So let's make an if statement. If params bet is greater than, less than, or equal to, let's do greater than or equal to session cache, then else. So inside here, we're saying if params bet is greater than or equal to session cache, then we will create a flash error. And flash error, this is a new concept. Just like how sessions is a thing that kind of persists and stores memory, flash error is a little similar to that, except by format, the flash, think of flash as like a variable. Flash is a Rails variable that you can use that somewhat persists, and you can call it, or you can use it to present error messages to the user. So it would pop up something at the top, and it would say you cannot bet that much. And it works just like a session in that it's a hash. You just inside here, well, flash doesn't include that. This is flash, just like session is session, and then you just add whatever name to make it unique and set it to something. So just like that, we do flash, and I just want to call it error because it's an error message. So we'll say flash error equals, and then we just put a string value for the message, which will be you do not have enough money. The total is, and if you want to have Ruby code inside of a string, then you can't just type it out. Like I can't just type what's the method? I don't know method. Well, you can't just type your total is session cache. That would not work. That would literally just show your total is session cache. Obviously, you don't want that. We want it to return the value of session cache. So to do that, you gotta put whatever Ruby code inside those brackets and pound. So it's a pound and then bracket, and whatever inside those brackets is your Ruby code. So your total is $20. That's what it'll print out. And we wanted to redirect to the get page. Now in the else, based on the condition, if it comes to the else, that means that parent's bet is less than session cache, which is valid. So we'll do what we're trying to do, which was save that param into session bet so that we can use later. And let's redirect to deal path, and we can just delete this. So if you come back here, let's exit out of binding.pry. Exit. Let's go back, reload the page, and I can't remember how much I put, but let's just say I bet 400. Submit. See, it brings me back to this bet page, which means that it came in here and parent's bet was 400, which is greater than session cache, which I think was 20. And so it'll run this code flash error equals this, redirect to bet path, which it did do. It redirected to the get page for bet path, but we didn't get to see this error message, and that's because we need to put it in HTML. And think about it, if you're the user, you probably have no idea why this is not working. Oh, another thing that we gotta do just reminds me, if they don't input anything, then we gotta redirect to the get page. But that's kind of improbable. So actually now we need to take care of that. So if save cache, and we'll put another condition in. Else if I think it's one word. Else if params bet equals that, redirect to the bet page, because you have to bet something. If they just enter like no value, it's not allowed. So let's test that out. Reload this page, submit. Okay, there. So it redirects it. That's good. Now we want to show the flash. We want to show this flash message, and the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna go to our application file, which is in layouts. And if you remember, application HTML is what gets uploaded every single time, and what makes it different, or what makes it appear as if you're on different web pages, is because we have this thing called yield, which shows the individual HTML codes for each specific address. But in here, we're going to add in this message feature because this feature of showing error messages is not just needed once for one page, but can pretty much be used for many different pages. So we're going to put it in the application .html, and I'm going to get that segment of code. Alright, so I pasted in this flash message, and so this segment of code is in charge of showing the flash message whenever we set a flash message into, whenever we set flash message to a specific string. And for this particular method, we did that. We said flash error is going to equal this string. So what this code does, it goes through every flash is a hash, and I'll show you by doing binding.pry so you can get an image of what it is. Binding.pry, let's actually have it right over here. Save. Now if we go back here and we submit 500, we'll be stuck in this specific spot. And now let's check out what is flash. So this is what we get when when we enter flash. We get action dispatch, blah blah. Flashes. This is what it is. Flashes equals, and it's a hash, just like with sessions. When we type in session, we get this, except we can't read it. But this is a hash, and we can call the whatever is inside of it. So if we say flash, what's the name of that? Okay, like error. If we do flash error, we get the string, and that's what we want to do. And so if you look at the code, flash.eachDo, and what is, you know what .eachDo is, I hope you do. If you don't, go do the Ruby tutorial. Flash.eachDo goes through every single element inside of a hash or an array. So it's calling flash, calls flash, and it goes through every single. Just think about this as a flash array, and it will go through every single element inside flash. So say we said another thing, flash message equals blah blah blah, and then we say flash. And if you look at the array, and now we have two elements. We have the error element and we have the message element, and these elements in turn have a second part. I forgot what it's called, key or value. Has two keys and has two values. And that's what this is doing. Flash is going through the hash, and it's splitting it up into the key and the value. So the name is the key and the message is the value, which corresponds with this. This is the key and that is the value. And the reason why it splits into those two things is so that it will be easier to read the code instead of having to call flash, like, you know, flash whatever the key is. So flash name, and then you'd have to call 0. It doesn't want to do that. It just wants to call the variable name. So it splits it into two, and then you go inside of the loop, and there's a condition that says if message is a string. Is a type of method, and it does exactly what it says. Message is a string, and if you look, message is the same variable right here, which is this part of the flash message. You do not have enough money, or blah 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 blah. And so it's saying if message is not a string, which basically means if it doesn't exist, that's the only time that it's true. I mean, it won't be true, because if there is no message inside Flash, then there's not going to be anything that returns when you call message. It's just going to return nil. So it would be the same thing as writing nil is a string, and that would return false, which is what we want. We only want the condition to be true when a specific message has been saved into the Flash. So that's what this if statement is for, to make sure there's a message inside the Flash. Now you get in here. This is now the HTML. So this, if there is a message, then print out this HTML code, which is making a class, and this is the HTML code that is designing the image of the Flash message. So you got div, class, and this is HTML, but it looks weird because inside of the HTML attribute for the div class, we have Ruby code. So normally this would just be meaning class equals alert, which is a specific CSS class, alert, and then dash, and then it goes into this alligator sign, which stands for the for Ruby code in HTML. And so this would return. Oh yeah, okay. So this is the alligator sign which means it's Ruby code, and since there's an equal sign right there after the alligator sign, it means that whatever is inside gets printed out on the outside. And in this case, if you don't know what this is a efficient way that Ruby makes an if statement. So if you don't know what it is, it's the same exact thing as an if statement, except it's written in a different format. So it's saying if name equals notice question mark, then if this condition is true, then return this. If name does not equal notice, then return danger. And so how did I know that this was an if statement? Because this is the typical format. You know, there's like code right there, and then there's a question mark. That's key. And then we've got the result that gets returned if it's true, and then we get the result that gets returned if it's false. True, and then the condition. So that's how it works. So now we can return all that, and hopefully you understand what it means now. So why are we trying to return one of these guys based on whether name equals that specific key? And if you remember, name is this guy over here. It's the key, which in the Flash message is error or message. So in this case, name does not equal notice. In fact, it equals error. Error equals notice is not true. So since it's not true, it's gonna return danger, which is gonna be a end up looking like this once the computer runs everything. This is what it will return, or this is what you will see on the web page. It will say danger. And if the name variable, if this name variable does equal notice, then it'll return success. So that's how you can make your designs dynamic, which means they're adapting, or they change based on whatever a certain condition is. So you can have designs that actually like change, or maybe become a different color. In this case, it is a different color. Alert success makes the notification of the error message. I think blue and danger makes it become red. So that's why we have that segment of code. And the reason why the condition is only equals notice is because if in our app, if it's not going to be a success, it could be anything else. I mean, how do you say this? If it's not success, then it's an error. So all we gotta test to see is this key equal to dot notice, or so this condition would return true if we made a flash variable notice, which would be the same thing as we would make this when we want to have a blue, or I mean a green success alert appear on the web page. It would be flash, and we would call it flash notice. You would have to call it flash notice because of that specific if statement that was in our HTML. Equals you win. There, so flash. So it would return, it would go through this, and there would be one with the name that's equal to notice, and it would return success. And this stuff is just some fancy JavaScript stuff you don't need to know. But that's just describing what the flash message is doing. So let's go back and let's click exit. And let's get rid of that binding pry, because we don't need that anymore. Binding pry. Oh look, see, look, there it is. That's the flash message. That's exactly what we wanted. It returns red, except none of them were green because I guess it's not called success. I don't know what it's called. What we can call, let's call it, I think it might be notice. That might be the CSS. Oh yeah, just to show you. So if you look at the CSS here, and we click inspect, there you are. Look, alert, alert, danger, alert, alert, danger. Just corresponds to this, alert, alert, and then I guess it returned danger because none of them equaled notice, even though one did, but it seems like, yeah, there was just no CSS class for that, for success. So let me test this out. This is just testing things out, don't follow along with me, so I'm gonna have to change it back. That back. So there, okay. So I guess it's called info. And that's just if we want it to be a success message. And then this will go back to danger because we really want it to be red. We don't want it to be blue because red symbolizes a you know, air. So now that we changed it back, there. You do not have enough money. Your total is 20. Okay, well then now I'll input 10, and it should work. Submit. There, now it works. We got an error message, but you know, you should be familiar with this error message, template missing, which means that it went to the BlackJack's game method, BlackJack game method, and it looked for its file inside the BlackJack views folder, and it wasn't there, so we got to create that. And that'll be for the next video.